CRMs, there's different scales of where you're at within your business. If you want to start now with the idea that you're going to build up a big business, then utilizing something with that mindset of a start can be great. It can also be something that can be really daunting. So if you're looking at some of the big ones that are out there, when you're looking at larger organizations, you've got things like the CRM NetSuite, Salesforce, Membrane, Freshsales, Pipeliner. These ones are out there. But if you're looking at a mid-size to the enterprise level, which most people here aren't going to be, they will have far more things than you will ever need within the business. Starting point for a CRM, what you want to think about is, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to bring all of this data, all of this information into one singular place that myself, the team, can organize in a nice, neat, simple, and effective way. For me, the go-to one for most people out there will be HubSpot. This is budget dependent. I know a lot of people are very big fans of things like Active Campaign, and that's great. But if you're now looking at the stage of, I just want to get a CRM set up and I'm quite happy to improve and keep adding the bolt-ons, HubSpot's got one of the most intricate levels of bolt-ons that you can have. So for example, you want to add a phone system into it. You can add something like Just Call. You can connect using your Zapiers and all the other jazz for things like Mailchimp. You can have all your little parts attached onto this to get it more organized. So for example, you go, I'm going to bring in a salesperson next month, and then we're going to bring in a marketing person next month. We're going to bring these people in over the next year. Something like HubSpot is great because you can start for free now. You can get structured and organized. And then as these people come into your business and they start needing the extra users, you can get them. Other businesses out there will use something like Pipedrive. Pipedrive's far more visual for people. So for example, if you've got 5 salespeople and they are just simply hitting the phones, if you will, having something there like Pipedrive, where you can see very simply in columns, your lead in, the first call, the appointment booked, the client, the pitch, the proposal columns. That's a real clear, simple one for people that have products that aren't massively intricate. So if you're looking at enterprise sales, long-term sales, Pipedrive is not a great fit. I know a lot of people right now that have smaller businesses but will use something simply for £25 a month like Pipedrive, because you can still have all the templates. You can add a lot of automations into the back end of it and still work well. And I find for a lot of salespeople, especially that are more visual, typically, they will find Pipedrive to be a lot easier to use. And one thing when we're talking about automation, we want to make sure that the user experience is good. Because if you've got someone who's going to be a salesperson for you and they're going to do 6-8 hours a day, you want to work out, how will we use this tool in the most effective level? A lot of people find HubSpot, as the bigger their team gets, it gets more clunky. It's harder for them to sort of break through. And sometimes you need to have a CRM manager when you grow that business out, if you're getting hundreds of leads a week, to really organize all your simple processes. But as a solopreneur is fine. But as that grows, to get all of those in there, suddenly you need an actual person to deal with and manage those for you. So it's just more of an idea. But when you're looking at something now, if you've got team collaborations, you want to have email synchronization, you want to synchronize up with something like a mobile app, which Pipedrive's great for. You want to just have simple reminders or reporting activities. Things like Pipedrive can be really, really effective for outbound people that are going to be going out, because you can have an app on your phone. So if they're out and about and you want them to make calls that are going to be recorded from the phone, they can literally dial straight from the Pipedrive app. So really break down and take a bit of time, get a short list of what you're looking for from your CRM. If it's going to be simple, it's going to be effective, it's about budget, you can really break down each one of these points and make sure that you're getting out of it what you need. Because there's nothing worse for a company than going out thinking this is going to do exactly what I need because my competition use it, but then realize that your business is working in a completely different way, or you're trying to take it on a different way, and you've just spent 3 months building out a huge CRM, which is suddenly not user-friendly, isn't doing things in the same way, and actually your team hate. Because if the team don't find it user-friendly, and they don't find the systems and the way the processes work, it slows down the productivity that we've got. And even if you've got good automation, we want to make sure that when the manual users coming into it, that they're going to get the best side. I won't cover too much about the larger organization CRMs if anyone really needs that. But realistically, we're talking sort of 10 million a year plus, which I don't think most people are going to look at right now. Okay. So that was a lot. Anyone who needs a backlist on everything we've got, just DM me automation, and I'll send this 16-page list over. Again, that's not part of a funnel. That's just if you want to know more about what these different ones were, you missed the name of what to use. There's a lot of things that have come in from this, that either you want to do your own research, you want to create a short list, just DM me automation and we'll send it over. Now, a big part for a lot of businesses that they don't organize in the right way is for your sales forecasting. Now, again, this isn't about what CRM to use. If you're already at the stage, you've got a team, you're going to want to have a CRM, which has got things for sales forecasting in already. I know Active Campaign's got some good options that are out there for that. But what we want to think about is we want to predict future revenue sales. We want to look at, as a business, using forecasts, whether that's to do your daily, your weekly, your monthly, your yearly sales. We want to base, these are normally going to be based on industry trends, your current pipeline, your previous history that you've got. Now, sales forecasting is really important as the business grows because it makes it a lot easier to make decisions because you've got the data and the metrics that you need to actually move through. It reduces risks within existing pipelines. It's easier if you've got sales quotas and revenue expectations to keep that aligned. And if you've got a sales team, even if that's just one person, or if you've got 10 people, having sales teams and giving them the ability to focus on high earning pipelines, high converting pipelines is only going to lead to increased revenue. One of the big things that most people slip up on is they bolt on salespeople in their business and they don't give them the tools where you can, as a snapshot, look at exactly what you do. For example, we were talking earlier about the platform that we've got for the Ultimate Sales Training Academy. So when we set for teams, this is what training is going to be done and when, we have a hub that people can see. This is when people have logged on. This is how many times, how many parts they've passed. This is how many hours they've been on the platform. This is how often they log in. Now, as a business owner, if you've got remote sales teams, you want to make sure that you've got this organized. Because if you've got to spend an hour a day going through to look at the back-end data, it's not an effective use of your time. You want to make sure that you've got things where if you've got correct forecasting of what you're doing, if you've got yourself in a position where you can track and monitor the training that you're going to give the right people to increase that forecasting, to increase their results. For example, 3 salespeople, one's writing loads of business but low conversion, one's doing low calls but getting the high conversion. You want to make sure that you can train each one of those people based on the flaws of where their current processes are to then work with their sales forecasting to make sure that they get the right information that's out there. One good app for that is Insight Squared. And this platform actually specializes in analytics for reporting sales forecasting. So if you don't have a platform yet, if you're not using one of the higher end CRMs that has forecasting in there, but you want to look into it, using something like Insight Squared is an effective use of your time. Now, to go back to it very quickly, when we're talking about marketing automation, if you're looking at doing a lot more things with your marketing, your lead generation side, again, we spoke about HubSpot earlier. I'm not an affiliate for them. I might as well be. They have a complete CRM with all the tools you need to streamline all those in there. So, for example, you've got marketing software to help grow traffic. You've got increased lead generation. You've got all the customer support side. You've got sales CRM software. You can automate the tasks. You can help to close deals faster off the back of it. You can personalize experience. You can have SEO recommendations. So if you're at the stage where those types of areas are something you want to focus on, really make sure if you're more focused on the marketing side right now for something for the team, HubSpot is far superior than areas like Pipedrive. If you've got separate sales and marketing teams, Pipedrive is something which is really, really strong for sales teams. Or if you're a solopreneur and you do a lot of manual marketing yourself anyway, you do your own socials on the other side, and you want your CRM to be just once they've come through on a lead generation, a magnet, a webinar, and after that point, you want it all linked up for the campaigns, then that can work well. Now, if you've got either of those CRMs or another one set up, having an internal drip campaign is a really important thing to have. So if you've got something like, most people will utilize something like Mailchimp, just because that drip campaign is one of the most potent, especially for B2B, for your lead nurturing and your inbound marketing. But also you can have set up your different lists in there. So for example, as we spoke about earlier, if you've got, say, a low ticket product for £50, you've got a medium ticket product for £700, and you've got a 10K product, when you're identifying which one of these is there and which one is which, you want to then be able to utilize something like Mailchimp so that when they do X, it will activate specific mail campaigns that will drip feed that person involvement, interaction, trainings, or just keeping in contact with that person. But so when they are ready to action, they can just jump straight into, they're getting the right info at the right time and they know what actions to take. So the purpose is really to assess and guide how the behavior towards specific actions will either get a sign up, get a call to action hit up, or whatever it might work on. Now, it's a great way for you to be able to nurture the leads, but you've got to make sure that you're working out what is the plan for that nurture campaign. So, for example, if you look at the age-old, for most people that have ever been in sales would have heard of the AIDA principle, which is attention, interest, desire, action. When you're bringing people through, you want to think, where are these people now? So, for example, if we've automated some free products, we know we've already got their attention. We ideally would have had their interest up to, say, a 7 out of 10. We've already got a bit of desire, and they're starting to ask questions like, will it work for me? I wonder who's done this before? Is this going to be a good use of my money? You want to make sure that when that email campaign, that drip campaign starts, you've got things that are going to address issues like price, need, timing, testimonials, all these different areas within that precise part of your campaign. Where actually, if you've got a real low ticketed product, you're getting people that are at a very different stage of it. Now, yes, they still need to have a level of attention, interest, desire, and action to buy your £50 product, but the demand of value has to be far lower at that point. And what you want to do is have that all set up in a way that's organized and structured that people can move further forward. Two final ones before we wrap up, because I know there's a lot of patient people that have been here on stage. I'm sure I've got some great things to share. If you're not using something for demonstrations, and if you're not using something right now for conferencing, Zoom or Google Meet, personally for me, I stick with Zoom. The simple thing being, one, recording what you're doing with it is really important. Secondly, to make sure that you've got something that has got emails set up automatically after they've been through, whether that's to give watch back, whether that's to follow up with emails with call to actions. Most of these tools that you've got will already have some degree of emails set up inside them that you can automate. So if you're at the stage now, you don't have a full campaign, if you block out each section, this is what happens here, then they get this. This is when it'll happen, then we're going to do that. Then there's going to be a booking system, then we want an email here. Then you get, so each one of the section from all the way from when they first come into our funnel, all the way through to becoming a client, having those nurture points coming through. If you haven't got a full campaign now, look at each point, whether that's Calendly, whether that's Zoom, whether that's thank you pages, all the way through to keep that engagement moving forward for each of these people. It gives you the ability for integration, bots, whether that's all the features for webinars or meetings. The pro plan can be really expensive though. So you want to make sure, because if you're not going to use it effectively, don't just buy all the automations that are out there for the simple fact that you need them. Because a lot of the time, the basic level tools when you're first starting off will be more than enough, and you can simply upgrade them as you go through. So for example, with Zoom, if you're only going to be doing 30-minute Zoom calls, then a lot of the lower grade packages will be fine because they cap them at 40 minutes. So don't just go off and spend huge sums of money to do it for no reason, because it won't work. Now, one final one, so I can have a drink after this because I'm losing my voice. DocuSign. Having some degree of program or solution that can automate what you are going to do if you're using things like proposals are really, really important for your business. It gives you the ability to get people to sign documents anywhere in the world, right? But here's the good thing you've got. If you've got, and especially for your high ticketed products, if you're not taking payments on the phone and you're going to send a proposal, there's nothing worse than sending out this proposal and then just sat there waiting. When you've got tools like DocuSign and other areas, you can have it set up that you get notified automatically, not just once things have been sent, we know when it's gone sent, when they've been opened, when they've gone through certain parts of the proposal stage, and once they've been signed. So for example, if I've had a conversation and we've sent a proposal out for £400,000 for XYZ product, and that proposal has been sent out and they've received it, if I see they've opened that today and they haven't signed it today, we know there's some type of delay or issue that's in there. You can have a series of automated emails that can follow up with those people, or you can have it alert you automatically after a certain amount of time. I know some people out there that have an alert, but as soon as they've opened it, but they get an alert 10 minutes later. So they'll then phone them up and say, hey, just wanted to follow up, wanted to draw your eyes over to one part of this proposal, and they get them in front of it. This makes it far easier to go through and close these deals. And because you've got that reminder either on an automated process or just as an automatic reminder, once a certain part of it's happened, massively increases the conversion you'll have if you're using some degree of a proposal stage. I think that'll probably do for today. What do you think, Jan?